Hello and welcome back to the Wildlands and our permaculture food forest from day one, where we shape the swales, we show you how we fill and line them. Dom explains what a swale is and how it works in case you haven't seen our other videos, and we show you what trees and plants we have to be getting on with as we start to plant up on the backs of the berms. So enjoy tonight's episode.
What you got there, Missy?
Lots of plants. I got, what have we got? We've got some hardy kiwis, some tayberries, cherry tree, some Egyptian walking onions, and a teeny tiny, I forgot this guy. This is a tree, it's a strawberry tree. A treelet.
So this is a orange tree that we've had in a pot since last year, and we didn't want to plant it last year because we bought it in early summer when it's too late to plant trees out. So you're better off planting trees in the dormant season, which is usually November-ish and all the way through till January, maybe even February. But the later you leave it, the less they've got a chance to establish their roots before their new growing season. So this orange we're going to put actually where you see it now, and we're going to make a nice border here of wildflowers so that when we're sitting on Bogey's bench we've got a lovely view of flowers. And Missy's back with even more trees, Missy! So this is where we are on day one, lunchtime, and you can see from the previous footage that Dave has been in on his digger and he's dug us 4 swales of varying lengths, and these are positioned quite strangely due to the layout of our land, as this is like a little micro valley because we have a hill on our left, a hill or boulders on our right, and the terrace behind me where the polytunnel and cold frame is also sloping this way. So that means that any rain that falls runs off and was currently running down the land, which was becoming quite desertified in the summer due to no water being able to soak into the ground. So the idea is that the swales will catch all the rainfall that happens in a few epic events during the winter months, and also because we have these trenches or swales, which is the actual dip part of the construction, we can also pump water from our well in the months where we have plenty of water in the well but not enough rain falling, and that over time will create a plume. So basically, if you imagine it here, the rain catches in the swale, or we fill it up with water from the well, and then that slowly soaks into the ground and you get what's called a plume, which basically means that underneath this swale and berm, the berm being the lumpy bit, there will be a collection of extra water underground, and that grows every year, and after about 5 to 7 years it reaches its maximum potential. And then the idea is, as you have deep rooted plants, a lot of trees, things like strawberries and comfrey and so on, that are also bringing that water up, and you have to water less is the plan. And this is a tried and proven technique grown in many drought countries from Egypt to Morocco, and permaculture is now very popular across most of Europe, particularly in parts of Portugal where there's lots of people like us living off-grid. You can see Missy in the distance who's shaping the swale and berm there, and also putting in a path so that we can get out, because we'll be using the swale, the dip part, as our pathways. So here, where you see here, we've got to make some construction here so that you can get down easily with a wheelbarrow, and then we're going to fill that up with hay and wood chip to level it off and make it a nice obvious path, and the water will still collect through that, and over time that will rot down. So you can see we've finished our demo swale, as I'm calling it. So we've got the hay down that you saw me put down, got wood chip a couple of inches on top, which has raised it significantly. This will rot down over time and add more nutrients into the whole planting affair, so that's quite exciting, and it's made a nice surface to walk on. It's quite soft. So what we've got now is we're going to plant the berms and the downside of the berms, because these are what's termed as fluffy. So apart from this edge, which I tapped down yesterday because it was starting to collapse, and that's the whole point of planting them up quickly. So we're going to put strawberries in, which are great, along with comfrey and a few other plants that have deep roots, and that'll hold the berm together and stop all this fluffy soil landsliding off in the next rain event in a couple of weeks. And then we've decided here we're going to put some shrubs in and some berries as opposed to a a tree or two, because behind me over here, I mentioned earlier, we're going to put a large orange tree and create a little fancy area with a tree in the middle and a round border and lots of wildflowers in front of Bogey's bench. So let's get planting and we can show you the whole logic. So this is the large orange tree that's going to go in the middle of this sort of rectangular bed. I'm going to make a circular bed, I think, round it with wood chip round the outside, and then where Missy's kneeling we're going to put wildflowers there. So what have we got here, Missy, to go in? We have a red currant. This is a guava, is it?
Yeah, feijoa.
A feijoa. And then this is a big bundle of strawberries, about 20 or 30 in there, and a tayberry. And those of you that not heard of tayberries, they're like a very long giant raspberry thing, which is very nice. So tayberry, just the one tayberry over this side.
I think so.
Yeah.
That leaves room for comfrey and rhubarb plants, which are quite big in between. We haven't grown them yet.
Okay. And do you want them in that order? Do you know what shape the guava takes? Does it stay sort of bushy or does it get height?
I think we might need to look that up.
Okay, let's go on to Google and check out this guava and see what she does. Right, so the guava feijoa, it's not actually a true guava and it grows up to 20 foot. It can be a tree or can be cut and kept as a big shrub, so it's too big to go here. Right on the edge of the path and with this orange tree behind it, which is also going to get big. So we're going to take this over that side right to the end of the swale and the berm where there is no problem with its height. So let's pop that over there for later. So Missy's suggesting a giant thyme here, so it's not a big plant in terms of height, but that will attract lots of pollinators and it will creep over the berm. And obviously we're going to plant strawberries and loads of other stuff, and we're also going to seed clovers and wildflowers and chop and drop flowers all over this as well to try and hold it together, so it's going to look epic. Strawberries that I used to see in the UK, which were usually sold as plugs or in little pots, or anything up to $1.99 for a small one, or even up to $2 or $3.99 for a big one. And here, which I've told you about before, but they excite me. And Rosie, you might remember, planted these last year, so you buy them in a bundle. They're €3.69, so we're talking £3, and you get around 20, 25, even 30 strawberries dry rooted. And they don't look very exciting like this, just with their dry roots. But last year we had such a success with them and they all flowered, all grew strawberries, got very big very quickly. So we're going to plant some of these. I don't know how many, I'll check with the boss. And then on the other side we've got the almond. So that's not been moved, which is good because it's really well established. And then here we have another red currant. Same as the one on the other side, another tayberry, same as the one on the other side. And what have you got here? Is that
parsley?
Parsley that we moved from behind us.
Yeah, it grew. I mean, this is incredible. This started as a seedling last January, February time, and it's just grown all the way through the winter, through all the frosts. And I quite often just yank bits out and eat them as I go around the garden. Fabulous. Sounds hard. It is. Oh, look at my poor root-bound guava.
He's going to be pleased to be in the ground.
Yeah.
And this guy's getting all the lovely topsoil that was in the previous bed. I'm going to give him a bit of a... So that's the first sort of part of the swale finished. We've got the flooring, we've got trees, shrubs planted, a few strawberries, and it's obviously quite early in the season, not even in February yet, so it's a bit early to be getting a lot of seeds in. So we're going to put some seeds in, some ground cover seeds, and then if they don't make it through the frosts, so be it, we can just sow some more. But the idea is hopefully we'll get some roots. So we've got some mixed wild flowers and ground cover and some comfrey that's going to go over there. So we're going to sow a few seeds next, put the topsoil on, which is going to be a sprinkling of our golden compost that we've made over the last year, just over the top, and then that's kind of it. until the spring gets fully going, and then we can get sunflowers and all kinds of other goodies in as well. So, good work, Missy.
Surrounded by plants, my favourite thing. We've bought lots and lots of currant bushes and berry bushes and so on. They're going to go on the tops of the berms to stick their roots in and hold it all together. We've got some trees, got some cherry trees behind me, got some chestnut trees and walnut tree, all sorts of different trees, and a lot of those come from Buy Me a Coffee. So if you've bought us a tree or a bush or something, thanks very much. You're going to get to see it go in the ground now.
And now we're going to complete and fill up swale number 2. So first off, we're going to fill it with straw, as we have done before, and then we're going to top that off with wood chip.
That's almost it for this episode. I hope you enjoyed watching our swales come together. It feels so good to have gotten all that work done. Thanks very much for watching. Thanks for all of your comments, and we'll see you again soon. Bye.